Hi there, my name's Milo, good to see you. I didn't stream yesterday because a whole bunch of life events happened to me, so I delayed it until today. That's why it's on a different day to usual. Not going to be relevant to anyone in the future, but anyway. Hi Gibbon, how's it going? Let's play a video game. Last time I streamed, I played some DSiWare, specifically Mighty Milky Way, and showed off a few minor applications as well. This game that I'm going to be playing today, I've become obsessed with, so much so that I created a whole new stream layout just for it. I'll start it up and then we can talk about it. This is Roller Angels, published in North America by Age Tech. That's the name on the screen there, but developed by Starfish, one of the branches of Starfish. There's a few, like Starfish split or had a few subsidiaries. Anyway, I'll talk about that later too. Anyway, it was released in 2011 for DSiWare. It's not available at all anymore, at least in North America. I don't think it was ever released in Europe, but all of Age Tech's games were delisted from the DSiWare shop in 2018, I believe. Sorry, I'm doing a little audio check in the most obnoxious way I know how. At least in North America. I don't think it was ever released. Sounds fine. But all of Age Tech. So we're going to launch it now. And I'll show you how awesome this game is. I've just described it as a sort of a cutesy jet set radio in 2D. Okay, so there's other names here. I think that's the Japanese publisher. I don't know who ICM is, but Nintendo Life credits them as the developer, but I believe Starfish is actually the developer. It's on their website. So I think it still might be available in Japan if you have a Japanese 3DS, because that's the only way to officially get it now. Just check the audio level. That sounds great. Yeah, I never do this, but live checking audio perhaps. I don't know. I think it's probably obnoxious for the viewer, but oh well. It's actually really loud on my end, but I think it's okay. Alright, so yeah, Roller Angels. I kind of described it as a 2D jet set radio. You can sort of see in that brief demo of the gameplay what the general gist is, but we're going to do the tutorial anyway. It's extremely cute, and I really want to try it out. Hopefully we get through the whole thing. Who knows? We'll find out. New game. What's my controls? Yes. Yeah, that was just my test game. Did like the first level. Welcome to Blissburg. Folks here love a good painting. Fortunately for them, they practically live in one. Yes, indeed, it's one of the loveliest places on Earth, or at least it was until yesterday. Ring, ring, ringing. Okay. This is Dr. Lionel. He is the Bosley of this game, pretty much. Or Charlie, or whatever. And the Roller Angels, despite sounding like maybe a roller derby team, well, they also sound like Charlie's Angels. That's essentially what happens here. Yes, hello? Dr. Lionel, Doc, it's a grey-tastrophe. Blissburg's been attacked by freaks in a flying saucer. Now they're draining the town of all its color. Hurry, or all our beautiful artwork will be beep beep. So the premise is a little bit like the Blob, if you're familiar with that Wii game. It's been re-released recently. All the colors being sucked out of the world, and we have to restore it. Great withering hues! Only one team of darling do-gooders can save us now. Angels, gather up! That's the whole, yeah, Charlie's Angels Assemble thing that it reminded me of. So Patty is, I guess, the leader. You rang, Doc? Bad news. A UFO is trying to steal the town's colors. Oh no! Wait, say that again? Becky is, yeah. Oh, okay. We're getting a translation of the alien speech, which is very nice. Quickly, fools, finish the heist so we can go home. Me. What do a bunch of aliens want without colors? What indeed? Seriously, I don't know. But you are going to find out and put a stop to them. Yeah, stealing is wrong. Let's go beat them up. Those thieves have pilfered their last purple, swindled their last scarlet. Nobody sucks the bliss out of our Blissburg. Roll out. Cool, cool, cool. That's just amazing. So, what's this? Oh, this is going to tell us how many levels there are. Quite a lot. Better get started then. Just quickly check the help file, because this is cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, character bios. This is nice. I found some of this on like official websites and stuff, but it's great to have it in a digital manual in the game. So Patty is a young girl who dreams of love and excels at jumping. She transforms into Pink Bunny. Each character has their own strength with their abilities. Me, a slightly sarcastic girl who can climb anywhere using her claws. She transforms into Mew Blue. Sarcastic and related to a cat. I think this might be my favorite character. Yes. Becky, a determined and energetic girl who can shake spray cans like nobody's business. She transforms into Yellow Bear. Incredibly cute. More characters. Dr. Lionel, a genius scientist who supplies the Royal Angels with equipment and advice. He's never seen without his lion hat. Okay, so it's a hat. I figured it was just his hair, but you never know. I guess all the people in this team dress as animals. The Monodrones, aliens from the planet Monodrone, who have stolen the colors from Blissberg. The aliens take orders from the big bosses. Okay. The tutorial will go through that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's all we needed to know for now. And in the shop you can buy new graffiti art, because that's part of the game, is you are painting on different surfaces. You can also use the DSi camera to take a photo and transform that into graffiti art that you will then paint on the objects in the game. But as I've said before, the way that I'm emulating the DSiWare, which is very difficult to do, is through no cache GBA, and at the moment that emulator does not support camera input or microphone input. So if you try to do that, the game will crash. But luckily it seems to be playable without that function. It's sort of a side feature. So let's get started with the tutorial and we can see how this game works. Let's practice, shall we? The world is counting on you after all. See the spray can at the top right of the lower screen? Shake it and make sure the can doesn't go empty. Now watch the instructions and practice shaking. So I'm mashing Y to bring up the pressure on our spray can so we can spray the graffiti. By the way, graffiti is art, but graffiti as an act of vandalism is a crime. Please check the laws in your local area before you consider doing graffiti art. That is the warning that comes up at the start of Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future, so it's very apropos to say it now. Yeah, okay. So apart from being a Jet Set Radio style game, it's also kind of a auto-scrolling autorunner, like, well, I don't know, what's the most famous autorunner? Canabalt was like the big indie one that popularized the genre, I feel. But there's tons of them these days, of course. Sonic Runner's Adventure, that's a good one. And as you can see, the graffiti art is very cutesy as well, fitting the whole tone of the game. Doesn't have... It's not quite Jet Set Radio style in look. Alright, so we're spraying, we're also jumping and spraying. So this is very basic stuff right now. Gibbons says, you weren't kidding about this just being 2D Jet Set. Uh-huh, yep. Okay, so Y is to do tricks as well as to shake the can, it seems. And there's a little climb thing to flip up onto the ledges. And when we've got enough power, you can dash. So that's straight out of like Jet Set Radio Future. The dash move. There's like a speed up move in the original Jet Set Radio, but it's not quite. It doesn't have the boost to it, the power. And now we're doing wall riding, which is important in various JSRF stages, to a lesser extent in the original JSR. The logo of the developer there, very nice. Starfish. Yeah, so we can scrape along billboards in the background. So yeah. And is it any wonder that I would be interested in this game, because I'm a huge Jet Set Radio fan. especially future. But yeah, anything that kind of tries to go for a similar thing is going to catch my attention. All right, so let's get into the proper levels now, and this is where we can pick a character between the three. Those bios are there summarized in their picture there, and you can see that they have different stats. So my first instinct, of course, was to go for me. I like her style too a lot, actually. The vest isn't bad on Patty, that's cool. I don't like, just for my own fashion sense, no sleeves and exposed midriff is not great for me. But yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. Me is me today, at least for this stage. You weirdos are through. Mew Blue. So they're all like little magical girls that have a transformation sequence, apparently. That's cool. This is one of the criticisms I read about the game in reviews, is it's all about you know, painting the world and oops, I was supposed to jump there, I guess. It said ops, actually. What's going on? Oh, I didn't shake my can. That's right. I gotta keep up that shaking, don't forget. So I didn't need to jump there, I just was out of spray. So you're always mashing Y whenever you're not doing anything else. Or at least you should be. Yeah, so one of the criticisms I read was about how, you know, part of the story is that you're restoring color to a monochromed world, but that makes the actual look of the game visually drab. People didn't like that basically your environment for 99% of the game is very gray in the background. So because I didn't spray enough of the targets, I actually failed. Oh my gosh, did you see that? I'll see if that comes up again before bringing it up. Go, my amazing angel. So yeah, he's chastising me for failing there, but that's okay. Yes, our spray is quite low to start with. Cool. Alright, so we're all good. I don't know how you get boost meter, but my B button down there is not flashing. Anyway, they probably covered it in the tutorial and I just talked over it. Anyway, oh crap. I hope that's alright. I hope I don't have to get it perfect every time. Anyway, yeah, the way I sort of saw this game talked about was a mixture of Jet Set Radio, Canabalt, and Blob. And I can see all three of those touchstones already. And I think it makes for, yeah, they work well together. Yeah, I actually failed. You have to get them all. Wow, harsh. Okay, here is what I was referring to earlier. In the apostrophe in you've has a huge space after it. This is an issue with like Japanese text input. So when they've localized it, they've just done a sloppy job and left in the Japanese style apostrophe or something where there's big space after it. You see that occasionally in maybe lower budget games, which I think this probably is, which would be a good opportunity for me to talk about the development of the game. So I said before that Starfish is the developer and they have a number of subsidiaries. ICM also came up on the logos at the start. They're another company that has a lot of games on DSiWare published by Age Tech in North America. And this is among them. So I don't know how they're involved exactly. Maybe they did some of the localization for Age Tech. But anyway, from what I can tell, the original game, the Japanese version, was made by Starfish. They also, I think, self-published it on the DSiWare shop. You can see the page for the game on Starfish's website if you go digging a bit. Lovely. So we actually beat it this time. Yes. Gold trophy. I don't know how you get anything less than a gold trophy if the game fails you for not doing all the bits. So I guess we'll try everybody once at least before settling on someone. It looks like Becky's going to have better spray can management. Who says I play fair? Yellow Bear! all these kind of declarations of statements, I'm sure, of equivalents in Japanese. I saw a trailer for the game, which was hosted on, I think, Giant Bomb, which is a great like database for backing up information about certain games. It's not a... Oh, I messed it. And I know it's going to fail me if I miss even one. So might as well just restart. Yeah, I think it was on Giant Bomb that I saw the trailer, and then I saw the original Japanese trailer on the game's mini site on Starfish's domain. And hold on. That's cool. So that's the mechanic out of Jet Set Radio as well. Jumping between different tricks on a rail while you're grinding. In future, you could hit the trick button while you're grinding to switch between different tricks to build your combo up. But in the original one, you had to jump, and that would swap your tricks. So it looks like Becky requires fewer Y presses to fill the pressure on her can. That's her gimmick. Yeah, so I was talking about the trailer. It's interesting comparing the two trailers. The background that I have on my layout here is taken from the official mini site of the game from Starfish. That's kind of a tileable background that was behind the Flash kind of pop-up thing that would have all the information about the game. The lower right screenshot thing on the layout, which has the three roller angels and the company logos below it. It's like the bio screen. That's taken a screenshot directly from the Flash site, which I was able to load up thanks to a standalone Basilisk install. Hold on. Think you're being funny? Pink Bunny. Yeah, there's different ways to still run Flash these days since it's official sunsetting by Adobe. But yeah, so I've got this like Basilisk browser, which has a version of Flash pre-installed on it that's sort of isolated. Okay, what's going on there? Oh yeah, that was an enemy, a panda for some reason. And you can only defeat them by boosting through them. Oh, nuts. I'm just gonna see what happens. Oh, yeah, I missed. I'm getting distracted. I'm not focusing on the gameplay. Okay. Anyway, very cute little mini site, reminiscent of, you know, an earlier age when games had these promotional Flash sites. So it took me back. There we go. Yeah, so like you're managing jumping over obstacles, spraying and shaking to refill your spray. It's a nice little, yeah, loop of gameplay. The marking screen reminds me a little bit of Yoshi's Island because you get those circles or crosses, which is a very Japanese thing, and then it draws, as if in chalk or whatever, the flower around cleared. Well, it doesn't draw it, but it gets drawn in Yoshi's Island. It looks similar. Just because that's a kind of typical Japanese style thing. Yeah. It's not... What I mean is it's not directly riffing off Yoshi's Island there, I think. It's just a thing that is in Japan. Alright, so let's... They're pretty similar, I think. Yeah, let's just pick me because I like her. Mission 4. What's the time? Okay. So hopefully I can get through the whole game in this stream. Who knows? This was originally released for 800 yen, which is a pretty standard price, sort of mid-range price for DSiWare. When I was looking on the 3DS eShop for... What? Oh, I had to jump over that guy. Hope that didn't lose me too much in the way of points or whatever. Oops. I just missed doing that one because I didn't jump at the right time, I guess. Okay. How did that go? No. Oh well. I guess you have to, like, perfectly spray every spot. He's telling me about tricks, but I didn't really have the opportunity to do many tricks on that stage. Because you have to grind to do a trick, right? Anyway. No! Oh boy. I know, there is a grinding spot. So I might be able to make up for missing some sprays if I do enough tricks, because it's just a score cutoff. Oops. So getting hit by an enemy loses you a bit of time, but the timer is pretty generous on this stage, at least. Okay, we got enough that time, thanks to the tricks, even with missing the last bit of that spray, as I suspected. Alright, story 1. So you are the meddlers recolorizing the town. Darn right, who are you? We are the mighty monodrones. Why are you creeps making off with all our colors? I'll never tell, nyahaha. Hey, you can't run away, we beat you up. Let him go, her go, whatever. We still won. Check it out, colors are turning to the town. Go us. Hey, let's do our thing before we head back. Ready? Victory pose in 3, 2, 1. Bleep beep beep. Huh? That must be the doc. Oh, before they could do the victory pose, they were interrupted by a phone call. Angel speaking. Hey, doc. Yeah, they're toast. What? Understood. We're on our way. Something wrong? Afraid so. The aliens have struck Heartful Hollow. There's more? Come on, let's roll out. Roger. Amazing. So, we actually get new backgrounds. That's great. There's 8 worlds, and they'll all have new environments, it looks like. Let's go with Patty for this one. Think you're being funny? Pink Bunny. Alright. Okay. Oh, each world has its own set of graffiti. Okay. I was going to check that, actually. I forgot. But we're in a sort of Wild West area now, it looks like. So you have to hit Y in the air to do a trick, which is also the shake button. That means that the B button... Oh no, the B's button is boost, yeah. So they are using all the face buttons. You can freely spray even when you're not in front of a wall, a valid wall target. I guess that could help you a bit with the timing. Woohoo! So before I do the next level, let's check out the shop and see if we can get some more sprays or something. Oh, it's unknown until you buy it. Okay. And as you go up, they're worth more. So let's start with the cheapest ones, I guess. A cute snail. That's adorable. Ah, nice beach background. A ladybug on some clovers. Very nice. A friendly robot. Love it. And finally... Oh, a triple scoop ice cream in a waffle cone. Perfect. Can't afford any more at the moment, but that's nice. Okay. So by selecting this one, that's the separate ones for each world, but you can pick specific ones if you want to stick with those ones. So this is a mechanic straight out of Jet Set Radio as well, buying new graffiti tags that become available by collecting graffiti souls, and then nominating them for use. But if they're giving us new ones for each world, that's fun too. Who says I play fair? Yellow Bear. Gibbon says it's kind of amazing how 1-to-1 it is. Yeah, it's an interesting experiment, I guess, trying to convert the gameplay to a 2D format, and simplifying it as well along the way, of course. But yeah, if you're going to copy a formula, you might as well pick a good one. But yeah, it's interesting looking at official Jet Set Radio installments. There was one on the Game Boy Advance, of course, but that was sort of 3D. It was isometric, so with those it's hard to judge depth. I did play it on stream. I think it was a Vicarious Visions joint. Yeah. I do struggle a bit with isometric platformers sometimes. You will have seen that before on stream. I'm reminded of when I played Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge Mobile Edition, and there was one particular jiggy I couldn't get. It was inside the like box storeroom in the beach, not the beach level, but like the harbour levels. Spiller's Harbour is what it's called. And the solution to getting on top of a stack of crates was to go behind them, and there were hidden crates that led upwards, and I just didn't understand that, and I struggled with that for ages, and I ended up not 100%ing the game because of that, among other things. Oh, hello. We got someone new in chat, kinda working, saying g'day. Well, g'day to you too, from sunny Canberra, which is pretty cold and rainy today, actually. I'm playing... Whoa, boy. Okay, cool. I'm playing Roller Angels, which is a DSiWare game released in 2011. Okuli. That is, I believe, someone involved with the Japanese production of the game, because their logo is also on the Japanese version mini site, as well as being among the logos at the start of this edition. I'm playing the North American version, which of course was translated into English. It's now been delisted, so go ahead and pirate it. Play it through the No Cache GBA emulator if you can. It's a bit tricky, but I'll once again link in the description of the YouTube archive a guide for how to set up the No Cache GBA emulator so you can play DSiWare. Oh yeah, okay. I know you from elsewhere as Captain. That's great. Good to see you, Captain. G'day. Yeah, this was never released in our native Australia as far as I can tell, so all the more reason to go yo-ho on it. And I'm just trying to bomb through some stages right now. At my pace right now, I'm probably not going to get through the whole game, but who knows? I might extend the length of this stream just to play the whole game because I really enjoy it. I think it's a great little game that was released on DSiWare. Kind of a smaller format game, but a lot of things on the platform often were. I think it's interesting for a lot of reasons, but before I go on more about other aspects of the development of the developer, I was talking about Jet Set Radio and how there's... Oh yeah, that's nice. There was a GBA version, but it didn't take quite this approach to converting the gameplay to a different format. It was isometric. But I am reminded of the official side-on 2D Jet Set Radio installment. That's right, I'm talking about Typing Jet, released for Japanese mobile phones. It's never been dumped and preserved as far as I know, so it's kind of lost media at this point. But there was a typing tutor Jet Set Radio game where, as far as I can tell from like the 2 screenshots that exist, you're Beat, who is skating along in a sideways perspective. And it's testing your typing skills on the phone keyboard by sending words at you, and then you type them in, and I guess graffiti happens. So yeah, interesting concept, but that's the only comparable thing I can compare this to, considering its inspiration and its 2D viewpoint. Alright, story 2. What? How'd you get here? You'll never catch me. That's not the voice I used for the monitors before. Never mind. Who cares about voices today? We're just taking it easy. Sometimes I do silly voices. Check out my Strawberry Jam stream for that. The Remar scrap packs. Says the guy who just got caught. You better scram before we decide to get xenophobic. Oh my gosh. That's a really weird thing to say. Okay. How dare you? I'll be delivering the snappy one-liners here. Just as soon as my backup arrives. Think you'll last that long? Eek! Ixnay on the islands bay. Mummy! Save me! This has gotten a hefty localization punch-up, I think. I wonder what the original Japanese script was like. I don't remember seeing a Japanese version in the DSiWare dump that I got this from, but I could be wrong. Also, apparently, from what I could tell, this game was released physically in Japan, judging by the fact that the picture on my stream layout on the top left, that's a cropped version of an actual box art from a physical DS box. All I did was crop out like the side where you could see the side of the box with the DS banner. So according to that, the fact that a picture of the box exists, yeah, presumably this was released physically, which would have been interesting considering it's so cheap on DSi, where a physical release would always be a lot more expensive. Nowadays, in that sort of situation, the digital price is highly inflated to match the physical version. This was available for 800 yen, which is not much. Be about $10-ish. No, more. I think $12 is the typical price point in Australian dollars. There were different sort of tiers of sale. So like $3 is the cheaper ones, and I think it was $12.50, and then there's one above that. Anyway, I could look that up, but let's continue with this cutscene first. Woohoo! Look at the scaredy cat go. Yeah, crying to his mummy. What's she gonna do? Uh-oh. It's the mummy ship. Dun dun dun. No one picks on my baby. Whoa, mama. Literally. Relax, guys. What's our motto? The bigger they are, the harder we roll. Nice. Nice twist. Captain, or kind of working, is saying in chat that they totally skipped the DSi. It went from DS Lite straight to 3DS. Yeah, my first DS was the original 3DS, and then later I went back and got a DS Lite and then a DSi XL. Odd to have a typing game on a phone. Yeah, but I guess no less valid. Typing on a phone is a skill, but people generally just pick that up from use and texting and whatever in those days. They say, I get teaching kids to type on a computer, but on a phone seems a bit of a stretch. Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? The Sega, of course, had Typing of the Dead, which was a traditional keyboard-based typing game. I think they released that for the Dreamcast with a keyboard peripheral. But was there a mobile version? There might have been. It might have been based on that. Anyway, alright. so we're getting our first boss here in World 2. What is a boss likely going to test our skills at? Boost might come into play. I haven't really used it in the actual playthrough so much yet, but me might be a good choice here. Down with the boss. So she's also supposed to be better at climbing, which hasn't really come up much yet. There have been a few gaps that could have been clambered up, but I was using Patty at the time and I just jumped up them. I even just jumped up that one, so I think it's just if you slightly miss a jump like this. Yeah, there you go. Oh, so you actually want to do that. That charged my boost meter significantly, so it's actually desirable to do that. I didn't realize the connection between those things. The tutorial should include me in, but I didn't quite get there, it seems. So if I do this... Oh, just missed it. So I haven't really... I guess I'm just trying to get to the end of the stage. Oops! Okay, so I've charged my boost now. I might use it when next it drops a panda. See what it does. Yeah, so I knocked that down. Oh, okay. Right. So using the boost, I can catch up to the mothership and then spray on its side. So this is very much like how the boss fights worked in all the Jet Set Radio games too, of course. Where you're always spraying on a tank or a helicopter to disrupt it and eventually destroy it. Oh. Yeah, this is great. And me was a good choice if charging is important for boss fights, which I sort of guessed it would be, but there you go. And with 2 sprays, we've taken down the mothership. Awesome. Love that. Yeah, I dig this game. I'm glad I'm devoting a whole stream to it. Okay, what else can I talk about next? Talked about typing jet. I will do... Okay. No, my motherly complexion. Ugh, you pay for this. Uh-huh. So long, sucker. Beep, beep, beep. Angels, it's me. Good news. I've detected a pattern in these alien attacks. Then you know where they'll strike next? Precisely so, my fluffy angels. I'm afraid they're headed for Smooch Gardens. Okay, great. Smooch Gardens? No. But that's my favorite place to, study. Okay. Those fiends. Uh-oh. When Me is angry, she's a one-woman army. Me is such an odd name when you've also got Patty and Becky. And those names are, of course, directly translated from the Japanese version. So I wonder what they were going for with that. Good. Less work for us. What are we waiting for? Smooch Gardens needs us. Roll out. Well, it seems like Me has been using Smooch Gardens for its intended purpose. Let's go with her since she has personal beef in this place. A personal stake. Yeah, okay. I wonder how you're supposed to afford all the later tags. They're very expensive. Are you supposed to just grind, do levels over and over again? But I'm always interested in seeing what the world-specific tags are going to be. So we have some nice flowers here. Oops, forgot to tag. Oh, that's cute. Also got nice jaunty tunes in the background too, that's nice. Boost! Cool. Hooray! So I did say I would talk more about the developer. Let's do that whilst we play through the next stage. I mentioned Starfish. The specific subsidiary that created this is known as Starfish Kaihatsu, although the different branches of Starfish that they founded are well, they don't all exist anymore. So several of the spin-off Starfish studios shut down over the years. So there was a Starfish mobile division and the main division and whatever else, but I think only one survives nowadays. So Oop. So yeah, the credited developer of this is just Starfish, but I guess they were known as Starfish Kaihatsu at a certain point. I'm not really 100% on the complete corporate history. But anyway, this game kind of stands unique in their catalog. Looking back through their earlier titles, there's a lot of like fishing simulator games, which of course is a big genre, especially in Japan. But it's odd to see something like this that's so different from that as sort of their main thing. They even, so Starfish is a successor studio in itself. They formed after the bankruptcy of a previous company called Hot B, Hot-letter B, which existed from 1983 to 1993. And most of their catalog is full of fishing games too. So they went from that. Some of the employees left after the folding of Hot B, then went on to make more fishing games, but they also diversified a bit. During their time as Starfish, they made a lot of sort of like games for younger kids, mini-game collections, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the two main streams that Starfish was responsible for. I've missed that that grind rail. That's a bit of a problem. I think boosting might let you keep a combo up. Oops. Yeah, I totally missed that one. Whiffed it. Because over time, I guess your combo will drop. But if you're boosting, it'll give you an opportunity to keep it going by speeding along to the next graffiti spot. So that's the high-level strategic play of Roll Angels. Let's see if I made enough points there. Okay, so I had about 360, and then 300 was what I needed to beat it. They don't tell you beforehand, but you also only need 15 gold. How many did I get? 28. Okay, so you don't need to perfect the stages. It was just a little tight in the early stages, I guess. Yeah, that's good. That's encouraging, actually. Anyway, yeah, so Starfish have an interesting, like, softography. Their Japanese side is worth checking out, because they have other stuff as well, not just fishing games and kids games. But this seems to be the only one like this they did. Sometimes when a company has a great idea like this, they might iterate on it or have a spiritual sequel or whatever. But it looks like this was unique on the DSiWare. As for the publishing side, in North America, AgeTech, of course, handled the localization and distribution, or, you know, do you still call it distribution if it's just putting it up on the storefront, whatever. The digital release. AgeTech has a pretty interesting history themselves. They... So AgeTech is like a shortening of the full name of the company, which was ASCII Games... Hold on. I actually have to check my notes for this. So we'll check out this lovely pause screen. ASCII Game Entertainment Technology. So it's like some of the first letters and then, yeah. So they were a subsidiary of ASCII created, and ASCII's a Japanese company. They were created to serve the North American market, but not long after their formation, they were spun off into an independent company. So they kept the name, but they weren't part of ASCII anymore, and they were just doing their own thing. And one of their own things that they did was publish a lot of Japanese-developed games onto the North American DSiWare shop. So they had a lot of stuff by ICM and a couple of other smaller Japanese studios. Starfish didn't do much for the DSiWare. They did some. Silver Star Japan had a lot actually under Age Tech, or on the DSiWare that Age Tech then localized and published. But yeah, among other things that Age Tech handled was, like, they were the chief distributor or publisher of From Software games in North America for a while. So like their PS2 platformer and like Kingsfield and Armored Core, the older ones, anything before they, got big with Demon Souls and all that. Maybe their what's their ninja games called? Is that Tenchu? I didn't write that down. Anyway, yeah, that Age Tech is like highly linked into the history of FromSoft, which is pretty cool. All right, huh? No boss? I feel slighted. Okay. My dear angels, are you all right? Are you kidding? We're bored silly. Can't you point us towards some kind of arch villain? Well, thanks to my absurdly accurate pattern analysis, I can tell you one is headed for Jolly Jungle. So it looks like every second world has a boss fight. Oh no, my precious wildlife! Hey, just hold on. You can't take those bozos on by yourself. But my animal friends! Oh, that's really nice. They're giving some personality development to Becky. That's cool. We can save them as a team. Gosh, you guys, you're the best. Quick, to the jungle, before our green goes grey. Roll out. So that's given us a good personal option to pick Becky for this series of stages. I checked what other things that Age Tech was responsible for publishing. They also did at least the North American release of Magical Pen Gel, which was an interesting PS2 RPG that Studio Ghibli was tangentially involved with. It had kind of aspects of this concept in it, in that there was an element of that game where you would draw characters and then they would be brought to life within the game. Sort of like Drawn to Life, or I don't know, what other games do that? It's a cool thing, but with the PS2 you would draw like monsters and then they would fight for you in this RPG. It also had a sequel called... And Magical Pen Gel's the localized name. I don't remember what the original name was, but... Oh god, I didn't write it down. I think it's somewhere in my notes connected with another developer for DSiWare. I'll check it out when I'm on the map screen. But it's an interesting concept. I've always meant to check it out. Whoops. Oh well, you can miss a few. I assume that Mii's skill is that her boost lasts longer, perhaps? Ooh, Given was excited to see a parrot in my graffiti back there. That's cool. Yeah. Happy about that. A macaw. So we haven't had a look at this map screen. Oh, there's a sloth, some monkeys. This is lovely. Let me see if I can find that thing I was talking about. Scrolling. Yeah, I can't find it. Maybe it was... Oh, there it is. It's in the notes for this game. I just looked over it. Yeah. Captain likes the spray art that I'm making in this level. Parrots and flowers. Yeah, it's lovely. I really enjoy the sprays. They're very cute. Maybe we can check out some of the other ones now that we have a bit more coin in our pockets. Okay, a boiled sweet. That's fine. Bit plain. Sorry. A present. Okay. Yeah, I think I still like the world-specific ones. These are cute, though. An acorn and a pine cone. Very autumnal. Very nice. Donut with a bite. Japan does great donuts, by the way. Okay, so we can't afford that one. What's the next one down here? 45, okay. So we can buy some smaller ones. I have to save up a bit there. But yeah, I'm happy to keep sticking with the default ones. They're very nice all of the time. Yeah, so it's all tied in with the history of these companies, but AgeTech was, you know, the US subsidiary of ASCII that survived, or split off rather. Oops. But there's another link. So the sequel to Magical Pen Gel is called, in the localized version, Graffiti Kingdom. The Japanese titles probably have Rakugaki in them somewhere, because that's a common term, not just for graffiti, but for sort of doodles and scribbles of sort of amateur artwork. But and that's how you would describe drawing something on the PS2 for a game, I think. You can see that as well in games like Rakugakids, which is a game I played on stream ages ago, the Nintendo 64 fighting game that's supposed to look like children's drawings come to life. It does great at that. What's another one? Rakugaki something. There's like a brawler. It's called Rakugaki something. I don't remember. Anyway, point is, Graffiti Kingdom is the sequel to Magical Pen Gel, and Hot B were involved in that too. Now, I did say that Hot B folded and Starfish came about afterwards out of the remnants, but much like ASCII, there was a US subsidiary of Hot B called Hot B USA, who, after the original Hot B folded, they survived and went on, and they supported Taito in creating Graffiti Kingdom. So they had a small part to play in the development of the sequel to Magical Pen Gel, which AgeTech also published in the US. So it's complicated, but yeah, pretty interesting that there's that connection that also links into the sort of drawing and graffiti concept that is part of this game's DNA as well. Graffiti Kingdom is also something that I really want to try. The original game, I don't know who did the soundtrack, but the second one, Graffiti Kingdom, has a soundtrack by Yasunori Mitsuda, aka the composer of Chrono Cross, one of my favorite soundtracks. So, as well as involved in Chrono Trigger and like a bunch of other games. I don't know them all. There's a lot. Gibbon, what's your favorite Yasunori Mitsuda soundtrack? Of course, Chrono Trigger I think had multiple composers. Or did it? Oh, I'm doubting myself all the time. I think you just gotta go under those, or maybe you bait them upwards and then try and skate underneath. You clear the ravens though. Yeah, they only go up a little bit. So gameplays are getting a little bit more frantic as we get further into the game. Yeah, you don't get the combo unless you complete it, but you still get some points for partially filling an artwork. Yeah, I really enjoy these the gecko, the Rafflesia, the Venus flytraps, the mushrooms. It's all very nice. All right. Captain says, Chrono Trigger is on my list of shame. I own it several times over, but never beat it. It's fantastic. It's very highly hyped as a SNES RPG classic, but I think it deserves its reputation. I first played it on emulator when I had my first laptop, and I was just like exploding my experience of games through emulation, games that I'd missed out on in my childhood. Chrono Trigger's among them, since it was never released in Australia or Europe at all. And RPGs were great for me at the time, because I have a memory specifically of playing Chrono Trigger on my laptop during a particularly boring class at university. So RPGs were much better suited to that particular environment than action games. Not that I should so readily admit to skipping class to play games. I was present, I just wasn't like mentally checked in that deeply. I still graduated, it's fine. Yeah, no, it wasn't. We missed out on tons of RPGs. We really got very few of them because of the cost of localizing them to so many European languages. Since we're part of PAL, we just missed out on a bunch of games that they didn't want to localize. And it wasn't just the effort, but fitting all of the different language scripts onto the cart was also a big technical hurdle for a lot of games. So, and I guess maybe the market wasn't as keen on RPGs or whatever, but for whatever reason, all these factors, we got very few of the classic RPGs in Europe and Australia. And that includes Super Mario RPG, Earthbound, all the Final Fantasies from the classic era. And yeah, Chrono Trigger as well, as like Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore. Oh, we might have got Secret of Evermore actually, one of the few ones, as well as Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, because I remember playing those two on an actual SNES at the time. But anyway, I did play through Chrono Trigger that way, but I also played through it on DS, which I think is a much better way to do it. Oh wow, Captain was living in Hawaii when Chrono Trigger came out, so you got no excuse. Alright. That's weird. Why isn't the green coming back? I'm detecting a powerful signal up ahead. Looks like we didn't chase all the aliens away. Whoever it is, they're gonna pay for brainwashing my animal bodies. That hasn't really come up. I guess those birds had been brainwashed by the aliens? We did see pandas earlier, but they seem to be coming directly from the mothership. Were they abducted from the jungle and then brainwashed and sent against us? Yeah. Let's assume that's what happened. Sure, I'm okay with that. Form up angels. Oh wow, got a whole new mothership here. Fools! You should have left my underlings alone. Nice pun work. You should have left your bad puns at home. You won't get away with... Oh, something about the jungle? Sorry, I skipped that accidentally. Oh really? You must be pulling my leg. Ah, that's it. Let's roll over that punk. Get him. Him. I guess this is a different alien to the one before that they said was the mother? Whatever. Captain used to own the physical card of Chrono Trigger and has no excuse. Indeed, indeed. They say their biggest regret was selling Final Fantasy VI, Earthbound, Secret of Mana, and Chrono Trigger to buy a 64. And if you're an RPG fan, the N64 was rubbish. I think it only had like 2 or 3 JRPGs at all. Paper Mario, Quest 64. That might have been it. That's all I know off the top of my head. But yeah, famously very poorly supported for that genre compared to the PlayStation, which had tons of them, of course. Oh, great. Yeah, I forgot that those guys, you gotta go under them. Anyway. But yeah, nowadays I don't think I would regret selling most of my SNES games because it's so easy to emulate that system. I considered for a while selling my SNES because due to its age, it just got a bit dodgy and it didn't work so well anymore. But I still keep it for sentimental reasons, so there is that. I just never use it. Partially because it is so easy. Oops. So easy to emulate the SNES. If I ever want to play one of those games, there's a lot of better ways to do it as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. You just go under them. But I definitely understand regretting selling them like that. Indeed, indeed. Let's see. Come on. Oh, so close. Captain says they actually just got a Super Famicom and a flashcard today. Oh, that's awesome. So might play Chrono Trigger on the actual hardware soon. Yeah, that'd be really cool for you. And I see you said Super Famicom, so you've got the correct version of the device, not the ugly North American one with its purple buttons. You got the true rainbow-colored button experience. Hello. Yeah. Check out on the stream layout how small the actual gameplay window is.
Yeah.
That's how it has to be. I could have divided it up and captured it separately and made it bigger, but I couldn't be bothered. Especially because I was going to be playing so many different DSiWare games that have different screen layout choices. I wonder if I can, yeah, vault off that. That's great. Glad I didn't fall down there. I was worried I might have to vault off the floor or something. Yeah, thank you. I made it myself with pictures from the internet. Yeah, that's really cool, Captain. Now you can play anything you want. I put a lot of ROMs onto my Super NES Mini, which was a lot of fun and a novelty playing them with the real, quote-unquote real controller, the real type of controller. Alright, so we're in an undersea world, which is lovely, and I see some dolphins. I am very much in favor of that. Sea turtle, crab, hermit crab, gibbon, are you watching? Some crabs coming up, perhaps. Watch out for that. How do you like those fire effects on the mothership? Pretty cool, huh? Alas, I'm wilted, but this war is not over. My comrades will continue where I left off. You already used that one, you whiner. Go home. Fine, you meanies. No one appreciates me. Come in, angels. Our world's blue is in peril. An enormous horde of monodrones is heading right for the Sea of Wishing. Use this new morphing spray I'm sending you. It will serve you well underwater. Good luck. Huh. A morphing spray. Oh no, we can't let the aliens steal our ocean. Where will we go to play beach volleyball? Whatever. You always cheat anyway. I do not. It's called playing tactically. Girls, this isn't about us. Think of our underwater friends. They're getting brainwashed as we speak. Oh, you're right. We gotta hurry. Thanks, Doc. We'll give the morphing spray a try. I wonder what it does. So do I. Let's go find out. Okay. So 4 levels in each world is very manageable. Since me and Becky have got long goes on the subsequent worlds, we'll use Patty for this one. Let's see what this morphing spray is all about. Okay. Morphing spray is not in evidence. So we're getting some nice fish-based sprays. Maybe that's just their excuse for why the paint cans work underwater now. Because it's special magic morphing spray. So we're getting some naughty penguins, presumably they're brainwashed as well. Ah, I thought I could clear that one. If I jumped earlier, I could have. When they're below the frame of the grind rail, you can jump over them. But otherwise you want to go under those ones. Oh, a squid and an octopus! Oh, that's so cute. I really hope you're watching right now, Kevin. Ah! Oh, that's a good question, actually, Captain. Are you underwater or just water adjacent? Yeah, like, the background kind of suggests I'm underwater, but considering those penguins just sort of hopping around and not swimming... They did say, like, the aliens are stealing the blue, and then where are we going to play beach volleyball? Which almost suggests that they're taking the water itself, but they're more like sucking the color out of things. Everything is still here, so the water would presumably be still here, just without color. Oh boy. It's getting rougher to manage the different functions you have to do in game. I missed that one. I hope that's good enough. Yeah, Captain, a big fan of the squid paint. Yeah, I love that. That might be one of my favorites so far. Yeah, even with my misses, I got enough points to just make the cutoff there. That's nice. Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't need the water to play volleyball. Yeah, like they do it at the Olympics, just in a stadium that has some sand, right? Beach volleyball at the Olympics, first featured in Sydney 2000. Yeah, it's just that beach volleyball on the sand, and you get sand next to water. You could play beach volleyball in the desert or whatever. Oops. Missed that. It's not good. Oh, there's so many billboards. I missed 2 tags up there. We'll see. Whoops. What does that do? Oh, I haven't seen this before. They did a little alien grey fade out and then you fail. Well, that's alright. Since I missed all those things anyway. Yes, I did go see some events at the 2000 Olympics. My family travelled up to Sydney on a train, which was extremely crowded, of course. And we watched some events in the whatchamacallit, the athletics, where it's just like track and field. Yeah, track and field. Just, yeah. We probably saw Kathy Freeman run, famous Australian runner from 2000. Although she would have been very small from where we were sitting, very far back in the stadium at Mascot. Yeah, I don't remember much from it except for me and my brothers starting a Mexican wave, or I guess you just call it the wave these days. That was our main fun. Getting into the crowd experience. Whoops. How about you, Captain? Oh, I really gotta focus at this point of the game. Oof. Lakitu saved me. No, Lakitu abducted me and took me away. Made me redo the level. Captain says their wife was living in Blacktown at the time and went with her family to heaps of events and to just enjoy the vibe of the city at the time. Yeah, I was quite young at the time. So as much as the vibe of the city goes, I didn't really take it in, I guess. Whereas they were still in Hawaii in 2000, so missed out. Yeah, too bad. Alright, this level has dolphins in the background. That hasn't really affected the actual gameplay of the stages, but fingers crossed. Also, the stages themselves have been pretty consistent within the world, so there's unlikely to be any new distinct features that involve dolphins, but you know, you never know. Oops. Looks like all the roller angels have the same trick animations too. That's something I was wondering about. Oops. Thought I could clear that, but I should have boosted. Ah! Ah! Yeah, when this game gets going, it starts testing your reflexes and ability to push different buttons. You know what?Maybe the combos aren't timer based, they're just based on the number of ones you get right in a row. Because there was quite a gap there between the two I did, but my combo persisted. So yeah, never mind about that. What's the boost for? Getting through enemies only, I guess. Ah. Or maybe if you get knocked over by an enemy, that resets your combo, possibly. Oh, but I lost it there. Why? Because I don't know. Never mind. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Captain should let people know, let non-Sydney-siders know that Blacktown is the name of a suburb in Western Sydney. Indeed, indeed. That's just what it's called. I don't know why it's called that. Could be for, you know, not good reasons, but that's just what it is these days. I'm familiar with it, of course. I didn't grow up in Sydney, but I grew up near Sydney. So I know any, like, suburb that has a train station, I know the name of. Drat, I missed one. Drat, I say, drat. Ah. Yeah, these are definitely getting harder. I should check if I have any more notes to cover. Is inline skating an Olympic event now? I don't know, they're adding new ones all the time and I just can't keep up. Just let me know when they add lacrosse to the Olympics, you know? Yeah, I definitely got hit by an enemy and I still kept my combo that time. So, I don't know. Yeah, the only reason I associate lacrosse with the Olympics is because of the ABC sitcom The Games. With, all these people who are funny. I was going to say their names, but I don't remember the lead. John Clark, Gina Riley, and Bruce Thor. Brian Door, sorry. Great show, ABC. Oh, and Nicholas, what's his face? In season 2, series 2. What was Nicholas's last name? Had a memorable guest spot by Frank Woodley in one episode. I'm a big fan of his. As Country Vet Cop. It was sort of a parody of the vet-based TV shows that were all the rage at the time. Dr. Harry or whatever. Alright, we've cleared out the undersea world and we've got our next story beat. Gah! I'm in trouble! Time for Plan X. Plan X? What's Plan X? Fast train to Dublin and submarine to South America. Hey, where's he going? Look, undersea ruins. They're beautiful. Wow, sure are. I think it's a shrine. And we totally just discovered it. Hang on, it says Swirly Temple in Babylonian. Okay, Becky speaks Babylonian. Good thing you're an expert in dead languages. They always lampshade something after I comment on it. Guys, focus. You want the aliens to trash the place? So I guess we were underwater this whole time and the morphing spray just gave us gills or something so we could skate underwater, even though like all the gravity conditions were identical to when we were on land. Whatever, it's fine. Roll out. Let's roll. 3 worlds left. Who shall we... Okay. Oh, well, we're still underwater, it looks like. Only now we're in ruins. The Babylonian ruins. We've got a submarine, squid, fish. There's an eel there. Pretty cool. Well, since Becky's the expert, let's give her a go in this world. Yeah, you're right, Captain. The hitbox of the coins are pretty generous, but that's okay with me. I'm happy with that. Anytime a game wants to be generous with me, I won't complain. Yeah, and we're actually making good time at the moment too. Should finish this within my usual stream time frame, so that's good. And of course we've got new graffiti arts here, and they're beautiful. Looking like murals on ancient shrines. Or at least the pop culture version. Also, there's billboards down here under the sea in the ocean ruins. Don't worry about it. They're just here. Captain likes the Nessie art. Yeah. I'm talking about, well, that's... The big green whale is cool, I like that. Oops. It's okay. That one, with like the big snake and the small people next to it. Oops. That's okay. In these levels, you can generally miss a few and still be okay. Oops, oh boy. And you don't get any score for collecting coins or bashing enemies. Oh no! Yes, the snake is pretty awesome. Although if you see a snake like that in real life, do not approach. Sorry, I'll just check my notes. Do I have anything more to say? Oh yeah, that's cool. So there was one other thing on Starfish's list of games that caught my eye. At the beginning of last year, I did a stream about pinball games that try to go a bit more than traditional in their theme, or their sort of gameplay additions. So they're not replicating the experience of a real pinball table, but they have this like adventure or fantasy element to them. And I always think that's really cool. There's sort of an equivalent to that I came across in Starfish's game history, which was a similar concept, but for Brick Breaker or Arkanoid variants. There was a game on the Mega Drive called Devilish, and it had a sequel. But at some point, Starfish got a hold of the IP or whatever, and they released a Devilish sequel for the DS. It's a third installment. I don't remember the subtitle, but yeah, it's like sort of magic and monsters, but the basic gameplay is you're controlling a paddle that's knocking a ball around. Now, the DS is particularly well suited to this kind of gameplay because it uses both screens vertically to make a continuous playing field, which is really cool. Things like, you know, Space Invaders Extreme or Yoshi's Island DS did similar things. Yeah, when there's so many sprays like that, is like this, it's great to use Becky, who can quickly refill her can's pressure. But at the same time, there's a lot of big jumps here that probably Patty would be better at handling. Ah, nuts. Yeah, so I was excited to discover that and maybe to try it out someday, Devilish DS. I could even put it on my flashcard, actually. That'd be nice. I could include it when I get around to playing more pinball games, considering the similarity to things like Devil's Crush and Pinball Quest, that kind of thing. Which I think are really cool, and I featured those on that earlier stream. Actually, I don't think I played Devil's Crush, but I played Alien Crush. Or was it Jackie Crush? I think it was just Jackie Crush. Yeah. But I definitely talked about all the other installments of the Crush series. Oh boy! I hadn't... Oh, I missed the jump. Yikes. No, I didn't play Yoku's Island Express on the stream, but I definitely would have mentioned it as a great example of adding, like in that case, Metroidvania type elements to a pinball type gameplay. Yeah, that's one of the best ones of the pinball adventure style. But also, I don't have Yoku's Island Express on a platform that I can stream from. Oh, I do actually, but not to combine it with other things. So on that one, I played a bunch of retro games. I usually do retro games. This is the DSiWare is kind of retro at this point. Yeah, but it's about what's easy to emulate and stream for me. Although I have been known to stream from my PS4 sometimes. Oops. Oh well. Ah. I think you'd have to hit a lot of enemies to run out your timer. That seems to be the only detriment to hitting them, is that you lose a bit of time and speed. These levels are certainly getting longer. Oh, good timing on that one. Yeah, the more complex this game gets with your sequence of actions, the more engaging it is, and the less I'm going to talk. Yeah. But I'll check if there's any more notes I have after this level. There we go. Boost. Oh man, you know that brain effect you get when you watch like the credits of a film, and then when they stop, everything seems like it's moving up. I'm getting that right now because everything's been scrolling to the left automatically and I have no control over it, so it's like a constant speed. Now when I look at the notes on my phone, it seems like my phone is sliding across the table. Woof. Yeah, I talked about how the game's been delisted. You can't buy it anymore outside of Japan. But it was exclusive to the DSiWare, which is something I've been noting about every game I'm checking out on DSiWare on these streams. There'll be more next week in a kind of rapid fire showcase format. But this week I wanted to really focus in on this game because I thought it was such a cool concept. And last week, of course, I focused on Mighty Milky Way for a similar reason. And it was a big hole in my way forward experience. Oh, Captain's going back to work. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. Enjoy the rest of your day too. There were a couple of other comments they made earlier. The alien shouldn't look so happy while abducting you. And about Yoku's Island Express, they said they haven't beaten it yet, but have enjoyed their time with it so far. Yeah. It's a lovely game. The art is amazing, and it's actually really satisfying to play. Even though the two concepts don't seem like they would mesh very well, but they really do. Anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out. See you later. All right, now we continue. These levels will probably actually take longer since they're getting longer, but I'll keep going. I'll still make it my goal to finish the game today based on my projections. Okay. Well, I've exhausted my notes, so if anyone's still in chat, give me something to talk about. Let's have a chat. Well. I've had a stressful couple of days. Part of what was happening with me yesterday was organizing a booster shot for the COVID vaccine. Nuts. So, like, they've just now opened up boosters for people in a shorter time frame than the previous plan. So they were like, you can get your boosters at 6 months after your second dose. And then they were like, okay, you can get them 5 months after, and then 4 months after. And they've just changed it to 3 months after, which puts me just in that window. It's just coming up on my 4 month, but when they, when they brought that timetable up a bit, it's allowed me to now get one a bit sooner, so I've got one booked for tomorrow actually. First of all, there was like the government one, but the government only has Pfizer, and I've already had 2 Pfizer, and it's better protection if you combine Pfizer with Moderna. So I wanted to get Moderna, which local chemists and pharmacies are doing. But the one closest to me only had a slot next Thursday, but now a bunch more have started getting their vaccine shipments in. They're able to open up a spot for me tomorrow, which I was very surprised to see, but I snapped it up. So I'm very pleased about that. Oh yeah, I need to actually drop down lower on that billboard. Yeah, it was really lucky. We were looking at the available chemists and what spots they had open, and a lot of them didn't have open slots until the 4th of February, but this one quite close to me had, in addition to that, one for tomorrow, so somebody must have dropped out, and I just swept in there. But it's good for me because I'm going back to work in a school next week and worried about my vulnerability to catching disease there, of course. So it'll be good to get that extra protection before going back. Ah. In fact, I was part of a priority program as an education worker to get one a bit early, but then they changed their minds and now everyone can get it early, so I don't know. We had like a brief window when we could book in appointment slots, and now everyone's doing it, so I don't know. Odd. That might have been the plan all along, just to let us book in earlier, but it doesn't seem like that was the plan. I don't know. This government is just handling the whole situation extremely poorly, but I don't have to tell you that. Maybe I do if you're not familiar with our government, but I think a lot of governments are handling it badly. Anyway, let's talk about inline skating. Because if you look at the little icon of my skate that's denoting my progress through the level at the bottom of the top screen, it has 3 wheels on it. Now, that's odd, because in my experience, roller skates either have 2 wheels and then another 2, like side by side, so that's a roller skate, or it's a roller blade that has 4 in a row. But 3 in a row? That's odd. I don't know. Maybe they just have really small feet and they're wearing kids' rollerblades. Or it's easier to do 3 wheels on a small pixel spray. But that would be getting Watsonian in here. Oh no. I mean Doylist. Watsonian would be looking at things from an in-universe perspective. And Doylist is examining the reasons behind those things from a meta perspective. It all comes from the Sherlock Holmes stories, which were written by Arthur Conan Doyle. So a Doylist perspective is the perspective of the author, whereas the viewpoint character who narrates them, John Watson, would be looking at them from the perspective within the story in the Watsonian perspective. Now that I've explained that basic concept to you, we can decide which one we prefer. And I often like, even if there is a Doylist reason, to also try and come up with a Watsonian reason, if not provided by the text itself. No! That's okay, gives me an opportunity to do more tricks, but not if I fall off. I missed the jump. And that gap is not high enough to do a flip off. No, I missed the jump. Gibbon says, this game has more content than I would have expected from a DSiWare title. And yeah, that's a good shout. At the same time, do you think it's enough to justify a full retail release? I think maybe yes, especially with all the unlockables. Maybe it could have had a few extra modes, but I won't complain too much. I'll remind you again that 800 yen was the price charged for this on the Japanese DSiWare shop. And I think the equivalent of that for Australian dollars was $12.50. And I would pay that for this, easily. I was, like I said, I was looking at the different games. I'll just check it quickly now. So for example, Mighty Flip Champs is still on the 3DS eShop in Australia for $12. The Animal Crossing Clock, $3. Other games are $7.50. So I was talking before about what those price points were, and I'll go over that in next week's stream. But yeah, it looks like $12 is the high end. There's like low, middle, and high. Low is $3, middle is $7.50, and 12 is high. So 800 would be equivalent to the $12 mark for that. So this is like the upper range of DSiWare titles, at least in terms of price. It might have gone above that, but I'm not sure exactly. I think there was a higher price point than that. I have bought a few things on DSiWare, but not for a long time, of course. sort of when I first got my 3DS, it had like a built-in back catalogue of backwards compatible DSiWare titles that were available digitally, which is really cool, and it's great when any console can launch like that. But yeah, that just means it's been a while since I bought any new ones. There was a period when I did go back through it and pick up a few more. I checked out 3D Space Tank, which I'll show you next week, among several others. It's, yeah, we'll do all that next week. But yeah, it is interesting, and I do wonder how much the retail cart, if indeed it existed, would have costed. It's tough to jump over that one. It's quite close to the bottom of the rail there. And I didn't have a boost available. The timing on that's tricky too. Of course, Patty would be better at clearing these enemies because she's got a better jump. But I am... Oops. Messing up my inputs a bit here. Oh, that was a tricky jump. Yeah, I am appreciating Becky's greater spray can power, or spray can refilling power, when there were a lot of tags in a row back there. Alright, finally, after a few losses, we got through this level. By the way, that DS cover that I cropped on the top left of the layout, I'd like to tell you what it says, but there's part of it I can't quite read at the moment, and I didn't think to translate it. It says Roller Angels, Roller Angelus, and below it is like a subtitle. Oopsie. What does it say? Pasha to Dai... Oh, I think it's Dai Borken. So Pasha is probably the onomatopoeia for the spray can. So it's like a big adventure with spray cans, or graffiti paint spraying, or whatever. Sorry, that's a very poor translation, but... yeah, I would call this a great adventure for sure. It's got as much content as Super Mario Brothers, right? 8 worlds, 4 levels each. And I know which one I'd rather play. This is way cooler. But we don't have to denigrate other games to prop up the ones we like, do we now? I just hate Super Mario Brothers, that's all. And I will not make any secret of that. Maybe I can get under that one. I'll have to try that next time. Oh, nuts. Nuts and milk. Sometimes I mix up Y and X, so I'm trying to shake the can, but I end up spraying. It's okay though. It's a good thing they have rainbow paint there. Oops. Oh, that was a tricky one. Classic rainbow paint as seen in Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. Oh no. Tried to jam a few more tricks in there, didn't quite get it. So I'll have missed out on a few coins there, but not a tag, thankfully. Oh man. It's this tricky jump again. Slope up to a hop. Yeah, there we go. And it was too low to grapple onto, which is an automatic process, by the way. Ah! Curse you. Okay. Woof. Okay. Did I pass? Oh good. I haven't worried about failing a level for a while, but I did miss a few tags there. Oh no, my brain. It's doing it again. Is that a variant on the Tetris effect, perhaps? Oh, there's a boss fight as well. I forgot. Whew, good thing we saved those ruins from certain ruin. I thought the aliens would put up a bigger fight. Ack, you thought right. Behind you. Oh, the spaceship is modeled after an ocean sunfish, a mumbo, a mola mola. That's Kathy's favorite fish. I'll have to tell her about this later. Now we're talking. Raw, I'm an emissary of alien rage. Prepare to die. Yikes. Ready, girls? Roll out. So me expressed interest in this boss fight, so I'll pick her because she's also better at the boss fights because she gets boosts faster. She charges them up with fewer ledge climbs. That's more like it, she said. Right, so we'll do this. And this, and then we're already there. Boom. Now there's no point or coin requirements in boss fights, but getting coins will let me unlock more tags in the shop. Oops. Should have dropped down and then jumped. Yeah. The sound effects are so cute. Oh, this one needs 3 actually. Okay. The little vocalizations. That did sound quite human, but whoa, bombs now. Okay, that's new. Even those explosion effects look a little odd. Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Uh-oh. Oh, badly timed that, didn't I? The ship was flying too high. Naughty penguins. Naughty penguins, naughty penguins. So in this one, the level timer thing is more like a limitation. You have to beat the boss before you reach the end. I did it again. I activated my boost just before it did its maneuver. Okay, will this work? Yeah, we got it this time. That's a nice animation. Maybe they all have unique ones for beating bosses. Oh well, I guess we're not going to see them all. Because I'm always picking me for the bosses. Oh, what is this? Future Funland? We're going to space? What's going on? Okay. Well, before I do that, let's check the shop. Yeah. Wow, the coin total has skyrocketed. Maybe I should just get the most expensive one and see if it's worth the cost. Nah, I'd rather see more smaller bits of art. Snowflake. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's adorable. It's a cat. I love cats. Yep, we'll get that one. Sweets. Block of chocolate and lollipop. I still want to see the world-specific ones though. Guess there's going to be new ones in Space World. Fireworks Factory. We finally made it. Oh, a bouquet of roses. Oh, a lovely rainbow with some umbrellas. Very cute. Oh, okay. Santa in his sleigh with some flying reindeer. What have we got? 77. Oh no, we can't afford any more right now. Oh well, come back later. Alright, World 7. This dialogue will clue me in on who I should pick for the next world. Ah, I thought I was safe in there. No matter, we got what we came for. Retreat. Huh? Got what they came for, but I thought we... Didn't we recover all the colours they stole? Oh, Patty's upset. Bleepy beep. Angels, the monodrones took more colours than we thought. Now they're trying to escape to their homeworld. Oh, we're going to their homeworld. In this conveniently left UFO. What? But Doc, how are we supposed to go after them? All we've got is one busted UFO. It's hopeless. Wait, check it out. I think I can fix this. Cool. And I have got an interstellar pilot's license. Whoa, seriously? Oh, ye of little faith. There's no such thing as hopeless when you've got us. I'm so proud of you, Angels. Be careful. Don't worry, Doc. We'll beat them on their own turf. We'll be back with those colours before you know it. Amazing. I'm counting on you, my persistent little peaches. Awesome. Well, they didn't give me a great pick for who to use next. Since we were just using me, let's use me for this rest of this world, and then Patty can finish it out as the leader of the group or whatever. That works. Mew Blue. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Funky, funky techno. So what do we got in Space World? A shooting star. A rocket ship. A ringed planet with flying saucer. Another ringed planet. Rings sure are popular in planets, eh? Whoops. Oh no! It's going too fast. Yeah, there's some alternate... I was just thinking there's alternate, like, character artwork for these characters that I guess we haven't exactly seen in game so far. But you can see them in the image gallery on Giant Bomb, I think, as well as... yeah, the Japanese version of the site that I was talking about before, but again, there's some hurdles to jump through to get the full content of that on Flash. Oh yeah, I did have some other notes. I went and looked for the Too Much Tingle pack, because I was looking at prices of different DSiWare games. And that collection of silly little minigames, I didn't note the original Japanese cost, but I converted it and it would set you back about $8.50 Australian, which I think is a little steep for such a, you know, meaningless set of little applications. It's very bizarre. But hey, it had like 5 teams working on it to do all the different things, so I guess, you know, I guess it's fine. It's worth what it's worth. Ah, messed that up. Let's get another boost off. Oh! I actually mashed B and cancelled my boost after activating it. I didn't know I could do that. Something to keep in mind, but I didn't mean to do it there. Actually messed me up a bit. Oops! Sorry, Panda. I know you're only brainwashed. Oh! Come to think of it, I was talking about the backgrounds of the game being pretty drab and grey for most of it, but now that we're on the alien's home planet, we can see that they've used the colour that they stole and actually coloured in their planet in all sorts of fun, multicoloured goodness. So I might learn something here about how their planet is naturally dull and grey and they just wanted to get some colour in their lives, and we might get some sympathy for them. Oops. Also note the new graffiti we saw there over the galaxy. That's a very nice one. Nice colours. Actually, yeah, now that we're on the alien planet, why are we painting all of these things? Because before we were using the paint to restore colour to our planet, which had had its colour stolen. But now we're here, it's just the same gameplay loop with no justification. Even though they felt the need to justify why we could breathe underwater. Oh well, it's fine. Oh, okay. So at the end the background went all grey. So by painting we're taking the colour back somehow. Keyword somehow. That's going to do a lot of heavy lifting in sentences like that. The only other note I had that I'd thought of mentioning from the previous stream was about, I brought them up earlier, Nintendo Life. I want to shout them out because they're a review site and news site focusing on Nintendo, of course, and they've been around for a while. They're primarily based in Europe and the UK, so there's good coverage of that, but they also have North American correspondents. But the point is, during the lifetime of the DSiWare service, they were very reliable about posting reviews for almost any game that was released on the system. So they've got reviews, written reviews for tons of DSiWare titles from the catalog. So they were a good source for me. They've got little like pages with information about the games as well as reviews of them, which helped me when choosing some of the things that I would be showcasing on the streams, but also just providing a little bit more information about them sometimes, as well as screenshots too. Some of the ones that I'll be covering next week I found very little coverage of, so having just a few screenshots in a review is good just to give you an idea of what the game is like and what how it's supposed to play. And of course they're still around today, still doing their thing. Oops. Ugh. Never mind. Hope that's okay. This level particularly hazardous with lots of pits, so you might be seeing that in this world a bit more. Instant death. Didn't quite get that one. That panda seems to have some device in its hand. I've been trying to figure out what it is. I think it's a spray can, but grey, so that might be part of the mechanism of how the aliens steal the color. Oof. Yeah, okay, we did pretty well there. Close to the score cutoff, but I'm still getting these gold trophies every single time. So, however tough the level is, it's generous with the scoring. And see how the world is returning to grey as we progress through these levels. So yeah, it's going in reverse for this one. Okay. You winners are through. Me blue. Okay. Ah! Okay. You know what else I've done in the last week is... Oops. I've fully completed, the crossover that Another Eden did with Chrono Cross. So Another Eden is basically the successor to Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, since we were talking about that earlier. Oh no! Didn't make that one. Maybe Bunny would be better on these stages since there's so many pits. Yeah, I will switch to her actually. Seems more useful for this particular level. Yeah, so Right Flyer Studios is a... I don't know, I was going to say indie, I don't know if they're indie. I guess so. They're not big. Anyway, they're a Japanese studio. And some of the people involved with Another Eden are, you know, ex-veterans of the Chrono series. So it does have that legitimacy. But yeah, there's characters in there that are XPs of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross characters. It's got the triple time period premise. I guess Chrono Trigger has more than 3, but anyway. Yeah, traveling between different time periods and doing things that affect the other ones. And having new settings there in the same world. It's really cool. It's a great RPG. It's free to play. And you can have a perfectly great time with it without spending money or being nagged to spend money or watch ads, so that's good too. Okay. And yeah, it like cemented its status as a Chrono successor recently by having a proper legitimate crossover with the Chrono Cross series, with in-game events, characters showing up, like a whole storyline where Lynx comes in and Surge is there, Kid and Hal are there. You have different choices that lead you down different paths, and then you can do New Game Plus to see the other side of the story. Well, sort of. Still mostly the same stuff, but you get new side quests. Anyway, I've just done all the side quests, so I had to do a bunch of New Game Plus runs, which you can also skip through. I shouldn't have jumped to grab the last of that. Focus on surviving through the stage, I think. So, yes. It's cool. It's fun. And I really like what they did with the characters, because there's a lot of dialogue between them and new stuff. And they gave Surge a voice, which I really appreciate, because I'm really sick of silent protagonists. The actual protagonist of Another Eden itself, Aldo, is very much not a silent protagonist. He has a story and a voice and a personality, so he's great. Nuts. I feel like they want you to boost at that point almost. Could make it without it, but it would be a bit easier. So if I do like a few short hops here, get my boost meter up. Anyway, yeah, Surge being a silent protagonist in Chrono Cross is just part of that annoying trend where they're a blank slate, which I don't like. Most of the Lufia series is not like that. That's one of the reasons why I like that series so much. Because Maxim and, well, he's the main one. Anyway, yeah, so Surge now being able to talk and have opinions and thoughts is a breath of fresh air. It was always really weird, him having such a central focus of the story of Chrono Cross. and never expressing himself. So yeah, I do recommend Another Eden. It is like a really authentic part of the Chrono series, so if you're interested in those games, do check it out, as well as Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, which is I guess closer to an official continuation because it's from the company, but it doesn't have the involvement of as many of the actual staff, so that's a different level of authenticity, but it's also not a Chrono game. They reconfigured some ideas from a potential Chrono sequel to be a Final Fantasy game, so it is in like feel and mechanics more similar to Final Fantasy, but I still put it as part of the series, if only in a spiritual sense. But it has been confirmed that elements of the potential third game, Chrono Break, were reused for the opening premise of Dimensions 2. I think Gibbon's saying something in chat, but I cannot tear my eyes away from this action for 1 second. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Gibbon's saying that Another Eden is very good. And she says, I feel like Square tacitly gave them the nod with the crossover. And yeah, I'd agree with that, especially considering some of the events that happen in it. Like, yeah, you have Glenn from Chrono Cross having a very pointed conversation with Cyrus, who is essentially Frog again in Another Eden. Yeah, there's a lot of winks and nods like that. There's a character who is just Luca in Another Eden. She's called something different, but she is literally Luca, and they play with that a lot. She's a very major character for being like a one-line NPC in Another Eden space game. She's a very major character in Complex Dream, which is the name of the crossover with Chrono Cross. Yeah, literally just Luca. Yeah, she definitely is. I think Gibbon even told me that her name Ashtier in Another Eden is based on like Luca's surname, which is Ashtier, which you find out at some point in Chrono Cross. I didn't remember that myself, but yeah, it's very much a direct reference. And yeah, the fact that Square is giving them that in the crossover, yeah, gives it the extra nod. Yes, Ashtier is Luca's surname. Yeah, I don't remember where you said that you find that out, but yeah, like the Ashtier in Another Eden does not recognize Kid and does not have a history with her, but they sort of imply that it's an alternate world or a new timeline from the same world or something, and there's ways you can work around that in your mind. Yeah, that's true. During the crossover, she puts on her Chrono Trigger outfit. That's right. And when you play through the third route, Gibbon, the neither Kid nor Hal route, there are some developments with Ashtier, especially towards the end, that are very interesting that I think you would enjoy. Have you done that yet? Because, yeah, you got to play through that thing at least 3 times. God, I need to do that, she says. Okay. Alright, next story bit. Welcome, foolish warriors. Why have you stolen our colors? Just look around you for the answer. See how colorful our planet has become? This is the world I've always dreamed of, devoid of the grey, dismal vistas we used to have. The many rich colors of your planet suit ours better. So you think that gives you the right to take ours? We need those colors. Without them, the balance of nature will crumble. That's true. Plants rely on the green color in chlorophyll to perform photosynthesis. And if it's grey, they won't absorb the energy from the sun. that they need to live, and since plants form the foundation of the entire food web of life on the planet, mostly, more or less, there are exceptions, of course, it would definitely disrupt the balance of nature for sure. Big whoop, as your species would say. Higher art must prevail, and that higher art is us. We'll see about that. Ready to roll, girls? You know it, say all three, including Patty in response to her own question. Okay, so this is another boss, so I'll swap back to... Oh, but I wanted to see the unique animations, didn't I? Alright, we'll give Becky a go for this one. See if we can get through the boss. Oh, okay. Gibbon's saying that the Ash tier name comes from the Chrono Cross Ultimania, or one of those other books, if she recalls correctly. Yeah, that's possible. Always including vital information in the Ultimanias. That's square. Well, it's more like there's so much material that was created for the game that wasn't able to be put into the game. I know Melora says a similar thing about the Zelda art books and strategy guides. Particularly, what was the Japanese one called? I don't remember, but when they localized it, it was called Creating a Champion, the Breath of the Wild development book or whatever. And the other one that she likes to talk about is the Link to the Past Nintendo Power Strategy Guide, which has a lot of backstory contained in the... Oops, I badly timed it again, but I could cancel the boost. So I'm only using Becky here to see what her winning animation against a boss looks like. But I guess it'll be useful. Nah, you're only spraying once every little bit in a boss fight, so her power isn't that useful. Okay, I'm gonna save this until, yeah, after it's dropped that, and then get up here, and now boom! Yes, one more. Yeah, bashing into a wall does stop your boost, but I've learned that you can manually halt the boost as well. So if I was me, this would be over by now. I like how the ship gets more on fire as you continue to spray it. Alright, so that was Becky's unique animation. A little celebration there. We'll use Patty on the final boss. Ah, no, it cannot be! My colours, my beautiful colours! I can't go on living on a planet without them. Oh. We did it. Yep, it's all over. But there's another world. Let's take these colors back where they belong. Huh? What's that ominous rumble? Couldn't spare a sound effect for it, but oh well. Nyahaha, you think you've won? Well, you're wrong. I'll just take over your planet. Oh gosh. What? No, you can't. Quick, after him. What sort of sans vehicle at the moment? Sans. The UFO we used to get here ran out of gas. Okay. And I don't see a gas station. Where's Doc when you need him? What? Where did he come from? Okay. Angels, are you all... Huh? Where are they? Blast it. Wrong coordinates. Oh, he was just a little bit off. Doc. There you are. I mean, here I am. Thanks to you, I was able to pinpoint the coordinates of the alien's homeworld. Let's blow this pop stand. Oh, great. He had teleportation technology this whole time. The lab, we made it. Alien boss. Nyahaha, the planet is ours now. Those pesky angels can't save you anymore. He's in for a shock. Yeah, he thinks we're still stuck in his drab domain. Well, let's hurry up and shatter his little fantasy. Right, one last roll for justice. Come back safely. Alright, final world. Let's do a quick check of the shop. Oh, we can only get a few this time. Let's prioritize the larger ones. More detail. Oh, it's the aliens, and they look so cute. They are dang adorable. I love it! Dolphins! I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Can we get one more? Yes, we can. Oh, it's a typical Japanese sponge cake with lots of cream and a strawberry. That is a very common image in Japan. But that type of cake, not my favorite. Alright, so to scout this world and what kind of challenges are in it, we'll use me for the first bit, and then I'll swap to somebody else. And we'll end with Patty on the final boss. I think I need to give my voice a bit of a rest. I also need to concentrate. Oh wow. So we're back on Earth. Oh, I was trying to be sneaky. I should just play it safe on these final levels. So what's the theme here? Oops. Movies, I guess. So our enemies include movie cameras on this world. Is that patterned after the Chinese theater in Hollywood? And now we've got, whoops, okay. Clapperboards. And a boom mic, of course. Didn't quite catch the smallest. Oh, it's like a film strip with some different symbols on it. Oh. I should be used to those enemy patterns by now, but oh well. I guess the man and the woman are depicting some kind of generic movie scene. Oh! Oh no! I missed the second A press and I didn't get the grind off. That sucks. Especially having to redo the whole thing. Oh well. I'm committed now. We're gonna finish this game today, no matter how long it takes. It shouldn't be more than another half hour at most, at absolute most. Sadly, we won't see all the various unlockable graffiti types in the shop because I won't have enough money. That was dang close. This seems like another Patty world, just with all the dangerous jumps. She'll be best at clearing them. Yeah, I'm barely getting a chance to even charge my boost on this stage either. And if I want to try, it like feels a bit risky, you know? Considering all the pits. See, I could have tried there to do a little grab, ledge grab. No! I missed the second one again. Ooh. Let's switch to Patty. Think you're being funny? Pink bunny. That's amazing. Should have looked up what those catchphrases are in the Japanese as well. What I should have done is look for a ROM of the DS version. So many regrets. It's been a busy morning. Yeah, having these bigger jumps makes this feel a lot safer. Oh boy, it almost did me in there then. No! It's halfway point again. My finger's short-circuited. Okay, let's go. What have you been playing, Gibbon? You were talking in the RPG channel about something. I don't remember what it was though. You're catching up on an RPG series. Was it the PS2 one? Star Ocean, right. Don't know much about that series. Is that the one that the Tales of Fantasia developer did and then Namco made more, but the original developer did a different one? Or is it something else? Ooh. Yeah, this is getting really hard. Feels so good when you remember to not jump over those things and just go under them. Oh, that was close. Oh my gosh. I'm getting super tense. If I was boosting, I think I would lose my marbles. Because it would just give you less time to react to the jumps. Okay. Oh boy. Oh no, what's this? Can't see the ground. Get so stressed. Okay. She's playing it right now, in fact. Oh, okay. So, Gibbon is becoming familiar with the series for the first time. She's almost done with the remake of the first game. The original, so I was right about that. The Tales team, the original team, split off into their own studio and started making Star Ocean, while Namco kept making the Tales games. But there's a lot of overlap in the development teams, so a lot of the Star Ocean devs were still on Tales games up till the PS2 era or so. And the composer for the two series is the same. Wow, interesting. So strange. It's a little bit like the Another Eden situation in a way. Except that Square didn't keep making Chrono games. And like a lot of the Chrono Cross team also made Xeno Saga, and then they went and did Xenogears. Nope, got that the wrong way around. They did Xenogears at Square, and then they made Xeno Saga elsewhere, and now the Xeno whatever, Xeno Blad. And Rightfly Studio is working on a follow-up to Another Eden to be released on console called Another X. And that's the working title. And Banana Meteor say, hey Julie, how's it going? Yeah, you missed most of this, but the gameplay is the same all the way through the game, so I guess you'll get a good idea of what the game's like. This is the last 2 levels and boss of the game now. Popping into Sailor and then heading off to bed. This game looks adorable. Totally agreed. Yeah, well said. It is adorable. Just look at that character design. I'm a big fan of that, of these characters and the look. And yeah, great use of color in the game. Sadly, gameplay for most of it is you going through these sort of gray areas because that's the plot of the game. But it does make it seem a bit more drab. I guess it does have the benefit of making the characters and interactables stand out from the background more, which is, I guess, better when it gets more frantic. So that's a plus in a way. The 3 characters have their own little abilities, so Patty here is better at jumping, so I'm leaning heavily on her for the final worlds, which have a lot more instant death pits and tricky jumps. And she also has a bunny-themed persona. It is a bit roller derby, actually, now that I think of it. Having this sort of character that you play. My first impression of it was that it was a bit of a roller derby theme. And I guess they're using that as a theme, as an aesthetic for the characters, not as much for the gameplay. Or the actual, like, apparent lives of the characters in this world, where they're some kind of superheroes or magical girls kind of thing. Whereas the gameplay is more like Jet Set Radio, but not, because that was street gangs, and like their turf and getting away from the authorities and such. Whereas this is a cheesy Saturday morning cartoon style alien invasion with the twist taken from Blob, where the color has been stolen. I wonder what the timeline on that is. This is definitely post Blob, because Blob was a relatively early Wii game, I think. And this is 2011 on the DSi. Yes, you're right. X could be read as cross, which ties it in with Chrono Cross even harder. And I'm aware of that convention in Japanese media, but I think it's funnier to say X when they mean cross. Like Project X Zone and Rockman X Over, which is 100% meant to be read as crossover. But I prefer to act dumb because it's funny or whatever. Well, I think so. I'm sure that others do not think that I'm funny. I'm certain of it. Oops. But yeah, you're 100% right, especially with the history that I tried to outline. It is certainly meant to be read as Cross. If Chrono Cross was made today, it would be written as Chrono X, I'm sure. And not spelled out. But from what I've read about the new Right Fly Studio project, seems to be taking after Chrono Trigger, which a lot of these follow-ups have. Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, another Eden, and now another X. They all have this idea of 3 time periods that you go between. And nobody's really followed up on the Chrono Cross gimmick, which was the 2 parallel worlds, which was a great gimmick in its own right. Oops, what's happening there? I've run out of pressure. Oh, what a marathon. They're just getting longer and longer. Yeah, but interested to see more info about that game as it continues. Do you know of any other games, Gibbon, that have the parallel worlds thing as a premise? Of course there's like Link to the Past, stuff like that. Oops. Metroid Prime 2. But that's more like 2 kind of states of the same world, and one is dark and evil. And it's about exploring and interconnecting those worlds. In Chrono Cross, it's more like they use it more as a plot thing. I don't know, I'm trying to think what's the fundamental difference between those 2 approaches. They do a lot in Chrono Cross where you explore the same area twice separately, and they don't really directly connect and you go between them. That's a more occasional thing, but there's like different versions of the characters and different and versions of the locations and events that happen that resulted from a timeline split. I don't know. Ah, man, I gotta give my fingers a rest for a second. What was I gonna do? Maybe I'll just have a look really quickly online if I can find like a DS version dump while I'm resting my hands a bit. Given says, yeah, well, the parallel world thing in Chrono Cross is used in much the same way that Chrono Trigger uses time travel. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's only different, like, thematically. Just do a little search. No, I can't see it. Oops. Here's one I've used before. Whoa. 7,000 files. Let's see if it's in this collection. Roller, controller, homie rollers, air traffic controller, roller coaster park, rollin' rascals. No. So if the DS kart version of this game does exist, It has not been dumped and preserved, it looks like. What? Sorry, I forgot the controls for a second and I pressed the wrong button. Given says she can't really think of any other games that do the Chrono Cross thing aside from Another Eden now. And yeah, should be noted that in the Chrono Cross crossover, Another Eden does have that direct thing as a mechanic. Oh man. 1 minute of putting the game down and my muscle memory is completely gone. Alright, we're back. So you do have the Another World in Complex Dream with alternate versions of the locations to explore, which are pretty similar, with some key changes, like the beasts took over the human castle. I almost did some weird inputs there that would have lost me that run. I'm getting really into this, by the way, if you couldn't already tell. No! Yeah, this is great. Gibbons doing the theorizing. Okay, so I'm going to read Gibbons' chat. Milo mentioned earlier that it's implied that Another Eden is a different dimension or timeline than Chrono Cross and Trigger. Well, I theorized that Another Eden must be the original timeline, since El Nido doesn't exist, and it's where the time gates originated from. And so the time gates existing after Another Eden allows Chrono Trigger to happen, which allows Chrono Cross to happen, which then bridges back into Another Eden. Yeah, that's well said. That's some spoiler stuff, but hey, it's minor to the events of the actual games. Yeah. And I will say that there are elements of the third path ending that feed into that, so you better get to it. But yeah, I really liked your theory when I first heard it the other day, given that like Another Eden is the same world of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, but it's the original timeline before something went and changed the history of the world. Because there's also no Lavos in Another Eden, but there's sort of an equivalent. You know, Dimensions 2 does that too. There's no Lavos, but there's a similar thing that is effectively takes its place in the plot. It's like the Bahamut dragon as the destroyer of everything. But yeah, there's this concept of Prisma, which is this elemental energy, and that was part of Gibbons' theory that Prisma exists in the world of Another Eden, and then it gets removed from the world in subsequent timeline iterations, i.e. Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Cross is part of the Chrono Trigger timeline. Oops. Gotta... Oh, no! I wondered about that, if I could resume my wall run after getting hit by that enemy, but it doesn't seem like you can unless I mashed wrong. That's true. There's no Lavos, but the Frozen Flame exists, and the Dragon God exists. But it's like, they say that it's a fake Frozen Flame or a different Frozen Flame. Yeah, I don't know. It's there. When I saw it there and they sort of said, oh yeah, it's not the real one, but it's here, I took that as just like, I suppose I took the doylist viewpoint and I'm like, oh, they put it in there because the Frozen Flame is so important to Chrono Cross. They wanted the image of it there. I don't feel like the justification they had for including it in the Complex Dream story was very strong, but yeah, I can't really wrap my head around why it exists in Another Eden. Because it's also a different color and it has a different effect because it's connected to the Prisma. It sucks up all the energy of the Prisma. So yeah, it's interesting. It's got to be tied into that because the origin of magic in Chrono Trigger comes from Lavos. And when you defeat Lavos, magic disappears. And then they have elements in Chrono Cross. Oh no! Because like the influence of the Frozen Flame is, they explain that as what made humans have the intelligence to evolve into thinking beings and thus overthrow the intelligent reptilian race that existed prior to that. It's pretty, you know, it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Chrono Trigger series, but it's great. I love the theories. Yeah. Yeah, so as Gibbon said, there's no Lavos, but the Frozen Flame exists. And she took that lore of the Frozen Flame in Another Eden to mean that it's not our Frozen Flame. Okay, so you think it is still Lavos. And maybe Lavos is expressed through Prisma in that timeline. Possibly. In the same way that magic originated with Lavos in Chrono Trigger. What are the origins of the elements in Chrono Cross? Because the elements also exist in Complex Dream. What are they? Where did they come from? Are they part of Lavos as well? Oh, Cooley plus fish. Oh no, I did it again. Gotta get higher on that one. That's the same place I failed last time. Alright, well, okay, actually, I'm gonna quote Gibbon again. Well, okay, so Prisma being around means that the medieval magic society was built around Prisma research and wouldn't have needed to draw on Lavos' power and disturbed it. So the Frozen Flame would have been weak or something, I don't know. And so Prisma being gone means that the Magic Society would have centered around a different method of magic, hence them finding out about Lavos and setting events in motion. That makes sense to me. That's good. Because Prisma exists in antiquity, and we can see, like, the level of technology and society in Chrono Trigger in 1000 AD is about what Another Eden's world looks like in 300 AD. So if Prisma is an alternate way that society developed, yeah, it's conceivable that it would have ended up at a similar place in a very different time span. Also, the Kingdom of Zeal doesn't seem to have existed in Another Eden. There's a technologically advanced antiquity, sort of, in a different way. Oh no, this is really hard, people. Gibbon goes on, and we already... Oh, God, no! And we already have different dating systems in different timelines in Chrono Cross. So I just wave off the dating systems being different. And Luca is a universal constant. Yeah. The weirdest thing about Luca to me is that she also exists in Xenogears because Xenogears started as a different follow-up project to Chrono Trigger. It didn't end up that way. The only remnant of that is Luca existing in the first town of the game. But it's just really weird that she's there. What's your explanation for that, Gibbon? Sorry to change track so quickly, but you brought up Luca, which made me think of her appearance in Xenogears. And there's like direct connections, minor connections, but they're there between the different Xeno games from Gears to Saga to Blade. Oof, okay. Focus time. We're approaching the trouble spot. Ah. No, I was too high there and then I fell down and I didn't have time to jump. Blah, 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 blah. That's a good question. All the humans in Gears are recreated genomes, so... Oh, okay. So it's in the far future and Luca has been cloned? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I can accept that. Oh, this is gonna take a while. If I keep dying. But I've committed, I'm doing this. I'll be here all day if we have to. I got so high on the billboard last time because I was being careful about any potential baddies, aliens hitting me. But that's not a problem in that particular billboard, of course. So is this one? Yep. Oh no, it's not that one. Is it? Ah! There's parts of this level that look similar. I think it's the next one. The next series of billboards like that. And yeah, Patty is essential for this. That was the one. That's tripped me up twice now. That billboard. Or maybe that one. Oh, I was too high for that. Oh, I broke a camera. One more step and it's the farthest I've ever been. Well, I'm already furthest. Okay. Nope, too high. No, okay. Ah! I almost had a brain fart. No! Oh, that was close. Either that or she time traveled. Yeah, that would work too. I would accept her time traveling to whenever Xenogears is supposed to be set. Post 20... Wait. What's the future time period in Chrono Trigger? Is that 2100? The catastrophe was in 1999, of course, as we all remember. Xenogears is set in 17,276 AD. Okay. That's quite far in the future. Where did that fall in the, like, 15-step plan or whatever it was that they were going to do with Xenosaga? Like, the original idea with Xenogears was it was going to be one part of this huge saga, which then manifested partially in Xenosaga, but it itself had to be cut back from the plans, and like an interstitial installment is just done off screen and it possibly recapped in some websites. I pressed the wrong button to jump. Xenosaga was the original episode 5. God. I feel like that team definitely had eyes bigger than their stomach, or their reach exceeded their grasp, or whatever metaphor you want to give. Their plans did not come to fruition. Which for some people resulted in unsatisfying games because they were trying to fit them into this larger plan that never really happened or had any chance to happen. And they knew it, surely, partway through developing the Xenosaga series. I've just recently read a series of reviews of the 3 Xenosaga games that take it to task over that factor, by Kimimi, the game-eating she-monster. I recommend her blog. She reviews a lot of interesting games. I learned about the Chinese RPG series Sword and Fairy thanks to her reviews recently. But yeah, her triple reviews of the Xenosaga games in the last couple of weeks have been very interesting reads. Very scathing, I would say, so... oh boy. And I do have to try and get as many points as I can, lest I eventually make it to the end of the stage and find that I've failed. That is my greatest fear at the moment. There is an alien down there, it's just too low to get you if you're any height at all on that billboard. Oh boy. That was close. Oh, Gibbon's got another wall of text for me as a reward if I beat this. And I'm close. No, this has got to be it. Yeah. Did I get enough points? Please tell me I did. I finally made it to the end. My vision is warping around me. Oh yeah, I cleared it easily. Look at that, 964 and only 700 needed. Woof. Okay. Given says we have ended up with 4 games that take place after it now. Or before, rather. Take place before it. I suppose so, in a way. Not exactly the original plan. The 3 Xenosagas take place before it, of course, ending roughly analogously to Xenogears Prologue, and then more recently Xenoblade X closely resembles original plans for the initial backstory setting of the whole saga, just after Earth goes through its incident well before the Xenosaga games. Yeah, it's too complicated for me. It's a bit much. I've had a passing interest in Xenogears because of the Chrono Cross connection, but it opens the door to this whole huge meta saga that's just sprawling and bloated. And it's too much for me, sorry. Alright, here we go. Final story section before the final boss. How did you get here? We're the good guys. It's what we do. Ready to finish this? So ready. You really think you can defeat me? Why do bad guys always ask that? Of course we do. Our planet's counting on us. So I hope you enjoyed your little power trip because we're about to pull the plug. Ready, girls? Ready. Let's roll. I'm at the final boss, finally. I was stuck on the last stage for ages. But yes, the bosses are not as hard as the stages, so it'll be okay. Menna looks interested in your yogurt there.
I think she is.
She's being a polite little kitty. I was playing as the cat character before, but the bunny character is better for all the instant death pits that I had to jump over. Probably boost here, yeah? Yeah, that worked. This looks like it'll take 4 hits to take down. I should stop boosting. So get some strategic ledge climbs. Avoid the bombs. I've never been hit with a bomb. I wonder if it's instant death. Whoa, a laser, that's new. The laser is instant death. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's go. Oh yeah, what's that one DS game given that you say is like a spiritual predecessor to Xenoblade Chronicles? Is that connected by any lore at all? Do you consider it part of the... I know you have it on your shelf next to the other Xeno games in your collection, but is it part of the plan, the grand master plan of the series? Okay. So let's boost here. That's one. Ah, that was a badly placed alien. I was right to let it hit me. If I tried to jump over it, I probably would have fallen in that pit. There we go. Avoided the laser this time. Oh, I was waiting to see if it would drop a bomb. Ah, I tried to boost. No, I did the double tap boost again. I'm a fool. I might actually run out of space on this level if I'm not careful. Soma Bringer, that was it. So Monolith Soft made a DS RPG called Soma Bringer, and given saying that she's not sure if it's connected in lore. Nobody's documented it well at all. Even the fan translation skipped out on most of the encyclopedia entries with random lore in them. Okay, we can boost on the billboard. Oh no! I think I ran out of paints and then I messed up that jump because I was thrown off. Given is slowly making her way through the game taking notes. Oh, you're doing a service to the fan community. It's always great when a passionate fan can bring that sort of stuff to light for a community that doesn't speak the native language that a game is in. Similar to what you've been doing for the Getsufumadan wiki and stuff. Oh no! It's tricky, you need some flat space to attack the UFO. Like this. Ah, that worked, good. Make sure to keep my paint stocked up. Mash the Y button. Lick the touch screen. Yes. I'll always remember that. Lick the touch screen. Because it's something Matt Corner said, and he's a great guy, very funny guy too. One of the DK Vine staff. He was talking about Diddy Kong Racing DS and its use of DS hardware gimmicks, and how it might not have been the most successful at using them to make compelling gameplay. Saying that you have to lick the touchscreen. There we go, there's the last animation of Patty doing a celebratory dance from taking down a boss. And that is the end of the game. I'll clear out as much as I can of the shop and see the last cutscenes, but we're done, thank goodness. Sorry it took so long that I got stuck, but yeah, we're on a stage now. Everyone, yay! Hooray for the Angels! We knew you'd make it back. 3 cheers for the champions of color. Gosh, everybody. Hehe, thank you, thank you. You're all too kind. We couldn't have done it without you. You're the real color in our lives. Thanks for believing in us. And for giving us all your love and support. Oh, this could be me talking to my viewers right now. Well done, Angels. Doc, how about a little dance to liven up this celebration? Sure, why not? Okay. Oh, that's cute. Very cute. Let's roll! So Sumabringer has a precursor to Xenoblade's battle system, as well as containing what might be called a dry run of a lot of plot elements that would later show up in Xenoblade 1 and 2. I read somewhere, says Gibbon, that the Zohar symbol shows up in-game in a few places, but I haven't seen it yet, and nobody has screenshots online past the opening of the game. Oh boy. Is there a playthrough on Nico Nico Doga? And so, Blissberg's citizens lived happily ever after. But other folks in the world still need the Angels' help. What about your town? Is trouble brewing? Well, COVID is brewing. If so, just give the Angels a call. I don't know if they can help. They'll roll in to save you before you can say, Why, we're receiving a distress call as we speak. What adventure awaits our heroes next? That, my friends, is a tale for another day. Oh, I wish this game had a sequel. We'll have to leave it at this for now. Oh, that's cute. Oh, lovely. Game designer Chisako Nishtani. Assistant designer Saori Tamura. Graphic designer... Oh, they're going too fast. I'm not going to be able to read all of these. But yeah, small team, as you can see. Programmed by ICM Japan. What? Licensed by Oku Lee Inc. Hang on. So what did Starfish do? Oh, so the credits were for Starfish, but not the programming. They contracted the programming to ICM. Right. Now I finally understand. I should have looked up ICM more then. They programmed the game. Okay. I'm going to do it right now. I can't leave that hanging. I'm going to go to Moby Games and I'm going to type in ICM and see what it gives me. No, not auto-corrected to ice. Jeez Louise. Okay, there's 2 companies. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Oh yeah, so I recognize a lot of the titles here from other things that Age Tech published on DSiWare. They made the Paul's Shooting Adventure games, Go Fetch, and Whack a Friend. That's all that they're credited for in Moby Games. Since they're a Japanese developer, we could try searching the GDRI, the Game Developer Research Institute. They're a great resource for linking development staff between different companies, especially on the Japanese side of the game development scene. Yeah, no entries. So they don't have an entry on ICM, sadly, but okay. Alright, so I guess with ICM's expertise in DSiWare creation, Starfish got them to do the programming for this game for them. So there you go. Oh, given responded to me. Good question. I don't know what that is. Nico Nico Doga is like, you could call it the Japanese YouTube, reductively. It's just a site that could be a potential resource for footage of Japanese only games. NICO DOUGA. But as for this, I said I was going to check out the shop, and then yeah, check the records now that we've filled them out. Oh yeah, it tells you who you used to beat the game with a unique little sprite there. Very cute. How much money and what score you got on each level. With no distinction between worlds, so that kind of threw me off. But like, there's bosses every second world, and then four levels in each world. Oh, it's actually scrolling through on the top screen. Yeah, okay. With the map screen showing you what it looks like. All good. And then back to the start. Oh, it's lovely. So yeah, very pleased with this game. When I first saw it and I was like, this seems vaguely Jet Set Radio-like, I was very interested. And playing through it has been a great experience. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I have been playing it. What we're going to do is pick the LL and the L, which I think is the same, like, denotation for graffiti sizes in Jet Set Radio, at least in the Japanese version, just because it's a standard way to describe Japanese things, especially like clothes and stuff. The 3DS XL and DSi XL are called the 3DS LL in Japan because that's their equivalent to XL. Anyway, that's a very adorable depiction of Becky there in her bear outfit. Oops, wrong button. Sorry. The last graffiti we're going to be able to check is this one. And it's a fairy. Oh, that's so cute. So I wonder if by continuing with the LL ones, we'd get pictures of the other roller angels. I don't think I'm going to find out because it would involve a lot of grinding. But maybe if I'm bored one day, I'll do some grinding. Yeah, that's the end. Thanks for sticking with me through this slightly longer stream than normal. Tomorrow I think I'm going to blitz through a bunch of other DSiWare games, briefly showing off other ones I find interesting. And yeah, that'll wrap up the DSiWare series and we can move on to something else. One thing before I go, what do you think the L's are in the Roller Angels logo? Oh, you know what? They're probably spray cans. They're just really long. Yeah. That's cute. That was, of course, made for the localization. The original logo was in Japanese. But yeah, that'll do it for this stream. Thanks for joining me. And this has actually also inspired me to check out some other Jet Set Radio stuff. So sometime in the future this year, I'll do streams of other Jet Set Radio-like games, mostly recent indie games that you can find on itch. Some of them are just demos. I've done a little bit of this before with Butterflies, which has now released episode 2, so I'll be including that. And I played a bit of Zenith, which is a little bit different, but still cool. There's other ones in that vein that I think are worth exploring. So the Jet Set Radio fan that I am has been keen to try those out for a while, just looking for an excuse to do it. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Gibbon says it's a charming game, and I can't help but agree. And see you next time. Oh boy, my voice is all gone. I need more water. Okay, stay safe out there, everyone. Bye-bye.